Alright, first things first, we gotta light the fireplace. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gayla and this is I Knead Your Body TV. Oh, one more thing, I almost forgot about the tea. Alright, so we're ready to get going. Tonight we are going to be doing a stretch by the fireplace. You can do this before bed or in the morning when you get up. I thought we were ready, but as you can see, my dog Coco came and he wanted some water or something to eat or something. So I got up, got that, and then came back to the mat so that we can get started. Alright, so I'm just starting with taking in a few deep breaths. Usually when I inhale, I'll circle my arms all the way up. So that's what you'll see me do here. And then when I exhale, I'll bring my hands down to heart center, and I'll just do that a few more times. I followed up those deep breaths with some simple, easy side twists, one in each direction. And then I started to warm up my spine with some seated cat-cows. I repeated those side twists again, one in each direction. Another side stretch. We're just taking it a little bit deeper by placing our forearm on the floor and then leaning up and over with the opposite arm. Just make sure you're not dumping into your shoulder. You don't want to be hunched over or anything like that. Make sure you stay up nice and straight. I was feeling a little bit stiff, so you'll see me do those cat-cows a few more times. Pretty much anytime I'm doing a seated flow, I always throw in some neck stretches. So here I'm just taking my chin and chest, holding it for a few seconds, and then basically the opposite of that stretch would be looking up towards the ceiling. And then I'm just going to take my ear down to my shoulder, hold for a moment, and then switch and do the other side. Next, I'm just going to take my head side to side, almost like I'm shaking my head no, but nice and slow so that I can feel the stretch. Alright, so we're going to take that chin and chest again, only this time we're going to add a little bit of pressure by interlocking our fingers behind our head and letting our arms just kind of hang. You don't want to do too much, but enough that you can feel it. Thing with dropping our head to the back and looking up towards the ceiling, only this time you're going to place your hands chest and pull down. You can see when I started, I was on top of my shirt. It works better skin to skin. So I put my hands inside of my shirt and just pull down. Also, we're going to go back to the ear to shoulder stretch. You're just going to reach over, pull your head down slightly. Don't do too much, just enough so that you can increase that stretch. Another one of my go-tos is rolling out the shoulders. So you're just going to take your shoulders all the way up to your ears, and then you can roll them a few times towards the front, and then a few times towards the back. So you just want to make sure you take it in both directions. After all of that, you want to tie it in by taking the head all the way around in 2 big circles in each direction. As you can see, I'm not rushing and I'm taking my time, so be sure that you slow down. Transitioning to the side just so you can see these next few stretches a little bit better. I am doing a seated forward fold, and all I'm doing is stretching both legs out front, giving a big reach up, and then folding forward over my legs. Like I said earlier, I was feeling really stiff, so some of these stretches you'll see me hold a little bit longer. The longer you hold the stretches, the more your muscles can relax and the further you'll be able to go. So again, I repeated them a few times and I held them as long as I felt I needed to. Version. I'm just going to cross my right ankle over my left knee, and I'm going to fold forward again over that left leg. This is a good hip stretch. Then I'm just going to drop that right foot out to the side and then fold over that left leg again. Those last 2 stretches, I just turn to the front so that you can see those from a different angle. It is still the seated figure 4. I cross my right ankle over my left knee, fold it forward, then I dropped it out to the side and fold it forward one more time. Taking that left leg out wide, tucking the right foot in as close as I can get it, and then folding over as far as I can. Leaving my legs in that same position, I'm just going to stretch to the side instead of going to the center. So my right knee is still bent. Now I'm just going to bend the left. This is a mermaid stretch, so I'm going to reach around and over that right knee. Again, with that right knee still bent, I'm going to bring my left leg over for another twist. slowly roll it up and then go right into the figure 4, and this time we're doing the left side. Again, I wanted to give you guys a view from the front, so I just turned around and then repeated those last 2 stretches, the seated figure 4 and then dropping the leg out to the side. Both of those were folding over, getting a good stretch on the hamstrings. This time my right leg goes out wide, my left heel comes in close, and I am folding forward and out to the center as much as I can. Leaving the legs the same and then stretching up and over to the side. Can't go wrong with a few more seated forward folds. If you were to go back and look at the ones that I did at the beginning, you can kind of see I'm starting to warm up now, so I can go a little bit deeper, pull my chest in a little bit closer to my thighs. Transitioned all the way down to the floor, and we're just going to get in a few bridges. You might notice I'm pulling my feet closer to my hips a little bit more each time. So before I can touch them, I pull them in to where I can touch them, and the third time I pull them all the way in and I'm actually grabbing my ankles. Here I came up on my tippy toes, but if you're actually following along and doing these stretches, if that's too much, you can keep your feet on the mat. So here I went into a shoulder stand. This might be a little bit too advanced for this flow, but I was feeling it, and so I went for it. That is totally optional. You can try it or you can just skip it. So these stretches are definitely optional. I would not try them unless you're somewhat familiar with them. These are definitely something that you would kind of want to work up to, but I will say they make your lower back feel amazing. Taking a few moments to hug the knees into the chest. I didn't hug them in too tight, really just rocking side to side. And then here I'm going to do some slow bicycles. So that's just pulling the knee into the chest, alternating back and forth, giving it a good pull, and then switching over to the other side. Oh yeah, and I know the mirror effect is kind of random, but I was playing around with it and I just decided to keep it. So yeah. Decided to do a few more bridges and added some leg lifts just for the heck of it. I did some twists, but I fast forwarded through them just because I sat there a little bit longer than I intended, and I didn't want you guys to have to wait through the whole thing. I always like to throw in a little bit of core. So here I'm doing some simple toe touches. You don't actually have to touch your toes, you just want to reach in that direction. I decided to add on another core exercise. Here you're just going to take the legs straight up, spread your feet a little bit, and you're going to chop to the outside, the center, and the opposite side. Just go back and forth until you feel the burn, and then do a few more. Yay, you guys, we finally made it to the cool down. So I am starting by tenting my knees, and then I took the bottoms of the feet together and let my knees fall out. And eventually I went to both legs straight, arms out to the side, palms facing up, taking some really good deep breaths. I just placed my hands over my heart and over my tummy so that I could feel those a little bit more. And I did fast forward through that part just because I probably sat there maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and yeah, that took a while. So once I was done, I hugged my knees into my chest, rock and rolled a couple of times, come up to seated, and then of course roll the shoulders out, roll the neck out, and then I end by some of those side twists again. Did take a forward fold with my legs still crossed. That gives me a little bit more stretch in the hips. And then I just uncrossed and crossed again with the opposite leg on top. I did the side stretches again along with that forward fold. Time to celebrate, y'all. We are finished. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. And thank you to everybody that has subscribed. If you haven't already, please do so and make sure you tell a friend. Here I was done stretching, but I was listening to one of my favorite songs. It came on right when I got finished, so I grabbed my tea. I was sitting in front of the fire and I just kind of vibed out, as you can tell. So anyway, thanks again. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all so much.